Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan. Good evening, everyone. Right, welcome to this Executive Cabinet meeting of Chorley Council. First item of business, any apologies for absence?
None received, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Next item is the minutes of the meeting held on the 22nd of January. I'll move those as a true and correct record. Thank you, Councillor Francis. Seconded those. Any matters arising, any comments, any questions, anything aspiring from that? Right. In that case, all those in favour of accepting those, please show. That's accepted. Excellent stuff. Have any public questions, please, Nina?
None received, Chair.
Thank you. So we move on to the first item of business proper, which is item 4, the Revenue Budget Monitoring Report. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you. So the report outlines the position based on as of 31st of December. You can see the forecast outturn there is an underspend of £850,000. We propose to do two things with that underspend. The first is to put £250,000 into the capital and repairs and maintenance reserves, and the second is to set aside £600,000 towards the potential cost of local government reorganisation. Those two funds will be obviously used, so we need to sort of start planning now, certainly in terms of LGR, and that's what the report outlines. In terms of where the £850,000 comes from, it certainly doesn't come from major projects, as usual, but it does come primarily from planning. We've seen an increase in planning fees, which has been obviously a good thing, and we've also seen improvements in the property and customer and digital as well. So overall, obviously, it's able to use those reserves quite usefully given the timing of LGR. So let's say it's a welcome thing at this stage. The details of those underspends by departments are included in the report for members to look at and raise any issues if they have them. But in terms of the headline, where that leaves us in terms of our reserves is that we said we would always have a minimum of £4 million in general balances. Well, we can see that actually now is 4.3. So we're doing slightly better there, and again we can see a slight uplift in the earmark reserves up to 8.4 million, which is accounted for by the £250,000 which I just referred to. So again, in terms of reserves, in a slightly better position. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing with the view of this government, which is if you've got reserves, spend them. So maybe we should reduce them again, I don't know, but at the minute I'm quite happy with where we are in terms of the overall balance.
Okay, thank you for that report, Councillor Wilson. Any questions or comments on that report that anybody's got? Particularly? No? In that case, Peter has put the proposals forward in recommendations in paragraphs 2, 3 and 4. So we want to second those, please. Thank you, Councillor Law. All those in favour, please show. That's carried. Thank you very much. We move on then to item 5, the associated capital and balance sheet monitoring report. Peter.
Yeah, so the report outlines the capital programme. We can see the difference from the last time it was reported, which is of £2.4 million. We have had a couple of additional items going into the programme that outlined on page 35. So we've got the Harrison's Farm, the Technology One Finance System, Crawford Avenue, and then the spend on play and recreation and open space. That, obviously, like I say, is in addition to the programme, but the offset there is, as we see just further down on the same page, the schemes that, again, we're due to start, or we're financially planned, as it were, for start this year, but are going to slip into the following period. And therefore, overall, we see that decrease, as I say, of £2.4 million in the capital programme. All those issues, let's say that on that table there in paragraph 16, they are some of our major schemes. They will be coming forward. It's just a question of timing, so it's a matter of months rather than any major delays. Overall, in terms of the position on borrowing, again, you can see there on page 38, our net borrowing costs very similar to the forecast outturn compared to 25. Compared to the original budget, we're actually slightly lower, so again, that's no bad thing. And in terms of council tax collection rates and business rates collections, we can see that again, similar to previous year, but actually an improvement in performance, which again is always to be a good thing when it comes to collection. So other than that, Chair, nothing to say on the capital programme.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Any questions on that report? Anybody's got particular? No. In that case, we are again asked to accept the recommendations in paragraphs 2 through to 5, which has been proposed by Councillor Wilson. Somebody have a second that one, please, for me. Councillor Hilton. All those in favour, please show. Thank you very much. That's carried. And we move on to item 6, which is again you, Peter, the Chorley Q3 Performance Monitoring Report.
Thank you, Chair. So overall performance is very strong. We can see that the key projects, the corporate strategy projects, we've got 90% there rated as green or complete. And then in terms of the targets, we've got 72% of the measures performing on target, and 83% of the key service measures. So overall, as I say, performance is strong. Some of the highlights from this report, we can see we've made progress with the climate change strategy, and the new Carbon Pathways programme is now part of that strategy. We're working with the voluntary and community sectors, so we now have 474 registered volunteers, and we've also given out the small community grants as well to a number of organisations and voluntary groups. On cost of living support, we've got 66 warm spaces delivered with 25 partners. On jobs and skills, we've had 31 upskilling grant applications and delivered, we've got around about 200 attendees at our Careers Expo, which again was important in terms of getting people's skills matched to jobs. And on the destination management plan, again, we've had successful winter programmes such as the Christmas light switch on, Santa's Grotto, Astley Illuminated. And we were, as it says on the report, shortlisted for the Lancashire Tourism Awards. Unfortunately, we just missed out. I shall not comment on the unworthy winners, but unfortunately we didn't get there. But we will just work harder for next year and make it even better, and we'll win an award next year. In terms of the performance measures, just again a few highlights from that report. The town centre vacancy rate is at its lowest for 3 years, so we're on 7.5%, so hopefully that's a reflection of our work that we're doing with businesses. We've supported 293 community groups. We are looking at continuing to improve our work on preventing homelessness, and again performing above target there. Our business engagements is performing way above target, so we've got 587 engagements compared to the target of 338. The number of benefit claimants in Chorley is 2.3%, which again is lower than the Lancashire and national average. The overall employment rate in Chorley is outperforming the Lancashire and national average. And our number of visits to leisure centres is outperforming again our target quite significantly. And likewise on planning, we are got 100% of major applications and 95% of minor applications decided on time. So there's some of the highlights. And the final one, of course, sickness absence, which I must mention because that sometimes has been an outlier, but again, that is we're performing better than target. So in terms of areas where we've previously been off target, we have turned those measures around. So that's obviously a very good thing. On the where we are off target or where there's some standout issues, we have the food waste collections that is rated as amber, but that was mainly highlighted because there was a question mark over the production of the caddies that were due to receive. That has been resolved. We are reassured that they will be here on time, so that will be rolled out in next week. I was going to say April, now you say next. Yeah. So the scheme, let's not confuse people. The scheme will be rolled out in April, which is the most important thing, and that's what our comms will be saying. But apparently, I'm told that the caddies, very exciting news, will be arriving next week, so we can inspect them. So anyway, the good thing is, from a point of view of reporting the programme, it says amber, but really, obviously, that's going to be delivered on time. So we go back to a green on that one. In terms of the refurbishment at All Seasons Leisure, again, that's rated as amber. Some of that has been slightly delayed due to the proposed work on decarbonisation, which is going to be mixed with obviously the redevelopment of the leisure centre. But you can see now, if you drive past, the scaffolding is up, the boards are up. So work is well underway, and again hoping to be completed by autumn of this year. In terms of the measures, the one measure that's off track is the percentage of NEETs, so those not in employment, education or training. We can see there that our performance at the minute is 3.8% against a target of 3.5%. So we are only just off target, and more importantly, significantly improved on the last time we reported it, which was an improvement on the time before. So the point being is the direction of travel now over 2 quarters is very much in the right way that we want to see it. Those particular one-on-one work that we've been doing with individuals and the schemes in place do seem to be having some sort of effect, hopefully. We'll continue with them. As I say, we're slightly off target, but it's a lot better, and the trajectory is definitely positive. So that concludes the report.
Thank you. Do 2 swallows make a summer?
Depends.
Discuss. And caddy inspection will only be done by trained people, won't it?
If there is such a thing as a qualified caddy inspector, then I'm sure we will inspect them accordingly.
Is it a bucket? Does it have a handle? It's a caddy. Right, okay. Thank you very much for that report, Councillor Wilson. Have we any questions or comments, proper comments on that report, please? No? Good to hear about the caddies coming back on target. That's good that we get that launched in April. I know there are a range of start dates across Lancashire, and we will be towards the front of those, which is good. No questions, so therefore we are asked to note the recommendation in paragraph 2 and accept that. Proposed by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor Murray, enthusiastically. All those in favour, please show. Excellent, that was more enthusiastic, thank you for that. That's sorted. I have to move to exclude the public and press at this stage so we can move to part 2 papers. I will do that. Will somebody second that for me? Councillor Wilson, all those in favour, please show. Good stuff.